This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans. That's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here with me I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. That's right. We are gathered here to celebrate James's 33rd birthday.
Yeah. I knew this was coming at some point on this show. I figured it was going to be towards the end, but you got me off rip at the beginning of the show.
Off the rip.
I see you over there, baby. Straight off the rip. Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Now it's kind of. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So, what'd you do to celebrate?
Oh, nothing. I didn't do anything.
Do you remember when the pandemic first started, and then like everyone was saying like people like that had birthdays coming up? Like I was one of them. It was like, fuck, I ain't gonna be able to do nothing for my birthday, and then that's gonna turn out to be like everybody now.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, I'm kind of low key for birthdays. Like, I mean, every 2 or 3 years, I might, do something. But outside of that, it's more of just a day to kind of just like chill out for me. So, like, I haven't had to make much adjustments. Just like because of the pandemic, like I'm a homebody, so like, oh my god, staying, and socially isolating and all that kind of stuff is like, yeah, I kind of already do that. It's not. None of this is like some big major adjustment for me. So like I've been fortunate in that way, but yeah, just was at the house chilling. I'm still behind on a lot of stuff I want to get to as far as like wrestling, especially because of time of the year. Like it's coming around the time it's like for doing year end wrap up stuff, so like trying to like go through like earlier in the year's One Nation Radio stuff to like go through it for best of One Nation Radio 2020. But
I think I should start getting like some rough drafts for the awards going here. That's going to be fun to sort through this year.
No, the best thing is going to be like when we do like the year review for like Stardom, New Japan, AEW, and WWE, and it's like everybody we bring in is like the first question for everything is like, so, how do you think this company, this promotion, this brand handled COVID? Like, how do you think the shows were affected? And how much of a drop off? Do you think it was like 85% of how good it could have been if there were crowds? Like, that's going to be another one. Just like, yeah, we had a lot of good wrestling, but we had a lot of good wrestling, which is really for like, asterisk, and the asterisk is like in spite of the circumstances.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow, it's gonna be this is closing stretch. It's gonna be something.
Yeah. Still got a couple things coming down to the wire, so like we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, it is time to start thinking about end of the year stuff. I kind of like the format we did last year, where we pretty much just focused on end of the year shows, and then we like punted the award show into like a month and a half into the year. So
was that far into it?
Yeah, because there was like constant news like every week of the year up until like 8 weeks into the year, and it was like, oh, this is a great way to do it. And then I remember tallying everything up in one weekend before the show.
Yeah, I mean, either way, we still got our war show off way before Dave Meltzer did. So
as long as we beat Dave, we're fine.
Yeah, like you fuck around and you out here like doing your year-end shit, and you finally get it back like weeks before WrestleMania, then it's a problem. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if we should. I think we did it like maybe right after TLC last year. Like maybe we should do it. Like basically make that be like our end of the year show, like our last show of the year. Move to like Wrestle King, start the next year off with Wrestle Kingdom or whatever else, and then get the votes in or whatever else, that sort of thing, and then also give me a time like to add on like the Stardom year end shit when they have their biggest show of the year normally on like Christmas week. So We'll see. There's still time. There's still plenty of time. We're doing production notes like as a live show now instead of actually a show. But
yeah, man, gotta give them a look into the inside. But once again, happy birthday, James. So like the only man I know that is proclaimed himself to be washed for over a decade.
Have I really?
It feels like it.
I feel so washed. It's like I don't know if I ever said no shit like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe not those exact words, but more just like, look, bro, I don't want to go nowhere. Like, good. I don't know.
So, what that means? Like, once you wash for so long, you have a chance to kind of come back around eventually. The washing eventually finishes and you dry off eventually.
Like the whole idea of do you want to go somewhere and eat into your time to be able to sleep and like drink alcohol mess up your sleep cycle and then like go somewhere and listen to loud music? Nah, bro. Like I'd rather not. I'm good on that. I've been like, bro. I'm telling you, the red carpet shit, bro. Like that shit burnt me out ever. Like it's almost like. Dude, I'll never go in the sky again the same way John Moxley will never step foot in the Titan Tower ever again. I refuse. Wow. It will never happen. I'll be dragged kicking and screaming out the E-board for that to ever happen again. Nah, bro. Nope. Those days are over. Long gone. I don't miss a single second of none of that shit, boy. None of it. None of it. Yeah, so Thanksgiving, man. How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it's pretty good, man. How about yours?
It was all right. It was socially distancing. So like it wasn't the same number of people that I'm kicking it with as normal, but like, I still stopped off and dropped them off something, so it was all right. But it was just weird to just be like, all right, intermediate family thing, and it's just that, and then it's like, all right, how much time do you want to spend with whoever you spend time with, that sort of thing, and like trying to, there's no such thing as a safe cigarette, and all this is like trying to figure out how much we should smoke before like we get black shit in our lungs, and it's like probably any of it, and it's like everyone has to do their own what's safe for them and whatever risk management they feel they're doing. So it was. But other than that, it was all right. This week has been pretty cool, but kind of laid back type of deal compared to and a lot less hectic. But how was yours? I saw you out here cooking. I don't remember you made that big of a cook in the past year. So what's going on?
This was like the first time I really took like a lead role in knowing how to make the turkey and everything. Mm-hmm. And I did the ham, and my mom gave me a couple like lessons of what to do with the macaroni and cheese and all that. So that's gonna be on deck in future years. But this one I would say I was I had the plate rocking and uploaded them, and I didn't get clowned. I know I saw a couple people trying to make some jokey jokes on my turkey before it was all finished or whatever. I kind of uploaded it as I was getting started with it, and it was you need to season it. And I'm like, if you think I'm not about to like it, make sure this shit is right. Like, I had to put the done one up there and be like, look, don't ever try me like that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it, and my mom like came over with me and Catherine, and it was really fun. And my little sister ended up coming over for dinner as well. But yeah, like I woke up every 3 hours to check on the turkey, cooked it overnight, so it was done by the morning. So it was pretty cool. I popped it in at, I want to say 8 o'clock, and then checked on 11, and basically low heat all throughout the night, and then it was bussing in the morning, juicy, everything. It was like it couldn't have went better. Like, honestly.
Hey man, don't ever say the word juicy to me ever.
Can't have no dry ass turkey. You know,
right? I understand that. Don't say the word juicy to me ever again. I'm good. don't do that. Don't stop.
Like the word moist. You know,
I'd rather moist than juicy. Juicy just sounded ridiculous. Like,
you know, but the ham was definitely where it was at.
Oh well, yeah. I figure you know how to cook you some swine. I figured you know how to do that.
Yeah, you know, I had to make sure the swine was there. You know, I know some folks say the swine is unkind, but not to me. You know.
Yeah.
Y'all want to check them plates? I put them up on Twitter, so you can probably find them if you look.
Okay.
It's time for all the food to go tomorrow. No. So like today, I had the last of what I was going to eat.
Yeah. Okay. So we gonna have discussion. We never had discussion on air. So you, as a northerner, originally are a pumpkin pie person, which is just like you're the only person I've ever met that's a fucking pumpkin pie French person. So
we didn't have any pie this year, so that was strange. Yeah. But
unless you know how much you really actually like pumpkin pie, you're like, nah, I ain't even gonna deal with that. I'm not even gonna. Nah, I'm good. See, you ain't bring that. I see now you cooking. You ain't like, I ain't even gonna try and make one of them bullshit ass pies.
Nah, man. Like, you gotta get the Publix pie. Like, I went out there to actually pick. I think I was looking for pumpkin pie, but it wasn't my request. But the only thing they had they had plenty of apple pie, Dutch apple pie. Yeah. Didn't see any pecan pie. I think I saw I saw a couple of sweet potato pies hanging around, but all the pumpkin pie was gone. So I settled for the tres leche cake. So
you mentioned Dutch apple pie. I know this. So people are like, we don't give a fuck about this. Is a wrestling podcast. Skip ahead, but. Skip ahead. Like, there's timestamps in the description of the podcast. But yeah, the Dutch apple pie I'll never understand. It's like, okay, so you want apple pie, and then you want a bunch of just dust, a bunch of crumbs and dust on top of the pie. Why would you want that?
So I remember, like, before, like, trying them both, I was keen towards the Dutch apple pie because I like the crusts and, like, the idea of more crust on top, and then I tried it as opposed to the regular one, right? As opposed to the regular apple pie, I was like, oh, that one actually tastes like a lot better than the Dutch apple pie, but I don't know. Yeah. But as far as the pumpkin sweet potato pie thing, it just was never like. We never really had pies like growing up, like of any kind. It was like we would have cake on Thanksgiving or something like that. Mm-hmm. So when I came like down here and it was like a thing, it was like, oh, what do you mean you like pumpkin pie? I was like, yeah, I just had it one year, wanted to try it, you know. And I think sweet potato pie, I'm like, I think of yams and I'm like, I don't know. So I just rolled the pumpkin pie. I was like, oh, it's not that bad. And then it was like this thing like, oh yeah, you know, your black ass ain't supposed to like no pumpkin pie. I'm like, hold on, what? Like,
okay. So I've had pumpkin pie before. It is not bad, right? The thing is, and quite frankly, the taste is pretty similar, but there's just something missing. And I'm come to the conclusion. Well, I know that like it dates back to basically like what crops are being in what region of the country you're from. Like, for example, pumpkins don't grow as well in the South, and sweet potatoes don't grow as well in the North. So they basically pick their plant that or whatever. I I think ultimately what it comes down to it is, who is making those pies? Is like I think like the tiebreaker ultimately comes down to who is making those pies, and I think I'll take the side that's making the majority of the sweet potato pies over the pumpkin pies. I'll take it 10 times out of 10 every day of the week.
That's funny.
So, like I think there's nothing wrong with pumpkin pie because actually I take it back. You're not the only one because Julian likes pumpkin pie more too, and I'm just like, oh, that's some Caribbean shit. That is some.
I was like, Islander.
Yeah, that's some full second generation immigrant bullshit here you on, Julian. But yeah, that's all I got. I just wanted to bring it up. So I guess now that we handled the Thursday events, we can get to the events from last night because I don't know what to make of that show. I don't even know what was it called officially. What was it officially called? The Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. card.
Tyson versus Jones.
Whatever. I'll figure it out and then I'll put it in the description. But
Legends only or something like that.
Something. It was a pay-per-view. The semi-main event was Nate Robinson, former NBA point guard, versus Logan Paul, a YouTuber.
Jake Paul, Logan's his brother, I believe.
Okay, one of them Pauls. Like, one of them is apparently problematic. I can't remember what the story was. This happened so long ago, I don't remember. I didn't even know there was two of them. I thought it was one person. But, yeah. So, Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones, and what may as well have been called, like, a versus boxing match, because it's an exhibition match. It's, 8 rounds, right?
8 rounds, 2 minutes.
8 rounds, 2-minute rounds in between. It was entertaining. Snoop was on guest commentary, having a blast. But what were your thoughts on it on the presentation in general?
Oh, the presentation was awesome. Like the walkout ramp they had, like all the lights and the lasers. Like, oh, that part was awesome. I did not. However, care for the amount of rappers that I had to watch perform in between, just everything, just filling time while they were trying to, take streams down. And no matter how hard they worked, they could not stop them all because I did not pay for this show. So as far as like the fighting, it was just like it was sideshow, freak show fights. Nate Robinson, my God, I can't believe this man came out there and just like. Yo, I like remember Rocky was like, "I'll knock you in tomorrow, Rock." like Nate Robinson it got knocked in tomorrow out there. Like
he got knocked down 3 times, and all 3 of them were devastating drops. All 3 of them. Yeah, all 3 of them were like, "Oh yeah, you could." Honestly, the first time he got knocked out, he should have been counted to 10. Like he was done.
Yeah,
I don't know why they allowed him to get back up, other than the fact that there's some carny shit. But yeah, he knocked him out effectively 2 times. But the worst one was like the first one.
Yeah,
like when he stiffened up, it's like oh, okay. Normally when someone does that, we put them on a stretcher, and somebody got to put the thumbs up, and people have prayer circles.
I imagine that moment will be immortalized in white barbershops across the country. It was just I was shocked. Y'all saw the memes. Any good Nate Robinson memes, leave them in the Discord. I'm looking at all of them. But as far as Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, man, I loved it. Like I loved it.
It was entertaining. It was.
Yeah, it was definitely entertaining. I didn't get the feeling of like I wasn't like sad or like inspired or like Josh said, this had moved him to tears from Keepin It Strong Style. I didn't get to that point with it. I was just so happy for them and just seeing like, these guys are in their 50s and they got like a lot of pride to do this, and they didn't want to lose. They approached it as competitors. Even with the holding, it was like that's kind of what Roy got to do at this stage. Like, you got to keep that bear off you, because like, even though it's for exhibition, like Sugar Ray Leonard was like, "What's an exhibition?" Like, like that when he was up there. So all it takes is for your ass to get cracked, just like Nate Robinson did. So, I like Roy's colors and his gloves. Of course, he's in Staples Center with the 8 glove and the 24 glove for Kobe. I like that. I don't know. I just thought it was a good, fun, mindless, watch, essentially.
Yeah, I think the best part of the actual boxing match from bell to bell was Snoop's commentary. He's just
incredible.
He's just being Snoop Dogg. He's been the same person he's been for the past 30 years at this point. So, that was fun. He said they're like my two uncles like fighting in barbecue. It's like, what the fuck?
Yes. Meanwhile, Snoop is age too.
Yes, Snoop's yeah, exactly. They're all the same age roughly, all same generation at least. Yeah, it was fun. It was good to see Morrow and hear him. Like, he's not with NXT anymore, and like, he's still great. It was weird to see Sugar Ray Leonard at this age, and he like, given that how he's aged, like he looks kind of like Big Boy from Power 106 in LA.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, at first I didn't realize that was actually. I thought that was Big Boy, and I was like, oh shit, that's Sugar Ray Leonard. What? How did he age into that? But whatever.
They got that draw, so there was like a professional wrestling element to this.
How many rounds did Roy win?
All of them.
How many rounds did Roy really win, Rich?
Every single one.
Okay. I think Roy won.
Can't be touched. I
think Roy maybe won like maybe 2 rounds, maybe. But it didn't matter. Ultimately, you're watching it, and then they had like the comedy box.
You already knew what was happening.
You just like Mike beating this man, like, and all of a sudden you see like the scores, and you're like, who is this third judge? Who is this third judge? This ridiculous thing. And then at the end, you're just like, it's a draw. It's like, oh, okay, this is some fucking carny work shit or whatever else. So then after that, like, is when I see the text about like the inspiration. I was like, you just saw a wrestling match effectively. Like, you saw this dude, like, this was, the finish was predetermined. Like, they went out there, they didn't try to kill each other. Like,
people put real American dollars on this fight, and those people seek help. Please.
People bet on anything though, so it's like, yes, seek help. Yeah, like, look, there are people that'll put, bro. There are people that bet on like scores and covers and spreads for like quarters of games.
I'll ask you this question: did Michael Jordan have money on the fight?
I'm going to say no, and the only reason I'm going to say no is because Roy was a rapper. He don't give a fuck about rappers. So,
wait, wasn't he also signed with Jordan?
So, what'd that mean?
He might know Roy.
Bruh, have you ever heard the Noriega story about Jordan?
Yes. Fuck rap. Yes.
Man
I'm well aware.
This man showed up to the Def Jam Christmas party to go talk to Hove and Mariah Carey, and then every other rapper, whether it was Ghostface Killer, whether it was Method Man, whether it was Raekwon, whether it was who else did they mention? Every he was like, oh, nice to meet you. He's like, fuck rap. Like,
fuck rap.
So for you to say that, oh, well, Roy, he's assigned to Jordan Brand, like, man, he probably didn't even know that man rap. What's he doing? He's doing what? So,
fuck rap.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what you said about the Roy Jones and Jordan thing about, speaking of that, Roy came off some new crank. The whole entire, we'll get to that in a second. The whole entire Noriega Oh No video is him sitting ringside at a Roy Jones fight while being a Jordan athlete. While all that plays together while he's in Noriega's face talking about fuck rap. So what are we talking about with Jordan? Jordan's an asshole. We can move on. So you said Roy came off some new crank. Yes, this was like, can't be touched. like 2020. Yes.
Yeah. I was happy to hear that. It was kind of like y'all must have forgot 2020.
Yes, you're right. Correct. You're
but
right.
I would have happily accepted him coming out that can't be touched. Like, just like something about it. And then he's saying Pensacola in the house. He's like, they want me back in there. I'll go back in there. Like, I just wish Roy came out in the church clothes. That's all I wanted.
Oh my God. That is specific to the era. I don't think you can do that anymore. Like, that was only from the early 2000s, late 90s that you can pull that whole thing off where everything matches and then you come off. Like, in a way, well, obviously not in a way, it was clearly intentional. Like, Roy was on some real wrestler shit, bro. He really was back then. Like, why? Well, because of the pageantry. Okay, Triple H. All right. I get you. Yeah, but I will say Mike looked great. The story about him was 100 pounds. Like, I remember, about a decade ago when he was doing, he kind of started the image rehabilitation thing when he, mostly capped off, or the tipping point was really the Hangover movie. Like, he was big. Like, he had the older middle-aged guy gets a big belly type thing, and to see him in the last, few months getting geared up for this is like, that's cool. He was able to do that, as a person that talks about his mental struggles and talks so much about, his life and goes on the road doing it. Like, that's another chapter for him, right? Like, so that's really cool that he can do that. And like, for him to come out and, show, dude, he's still so fucking violently like
bro, he looked like he might be able to give the right person some problems in there. He clearly ain't got no wind or anything, but like that first round, all you got I don't know, man. Like, you put Mike in there in round one, he might got a chance to hit you.
Okay, so I'm not a super duper boxing person, but like, I think the word is like the last thing to go is power. So like, to see when he can, does the bob and weave thing, and we always just like looks so menacing when he does that shit. It's like, yeah, I can see why Roy was out there holding on. I can see why, like, you wouldn't want to be the person with the gloves and the padding on when he goes into train mode. But yeah, I think it was a good choice for them to go to 2-minute rounds and
Roy, like, he's about to die in round 4.
Yeah, but that's because he was out here trying to dance and move like throughout the whole thing. And it's like, especially early on, he's like trying to do all the flashy stuff. It's like, hey, bro, like, I understand that you're still quicker than Mike, but that's not going to last long. And the more that you drain that battery, the easier chance that you get caught with something that you shouldn't have no business getting caught with. You should be smart to know that, like, that dude still has the power to put you down, especially like Roy didn't have, cruiserweight when he got older anyway, or let's say for the last 15 years, 17 years, he didn't have like the jaw to stand up to a strong cruiserweight, let alone, one of the heaviest punchers of all time. So it's like, hey, bro, I understand that like some of this is for the love and whatever else, but like, these are still pretty live rounds that are, that are coming out the chamber. So you might want to stop doing this before you fuck around and get hurt. But yeah, I mean, it was, by the end of you were aware of what it was. It was, like I said, a versus boxing match. It was really more of a celebration of these two legends. Like, really, like, when was the next time we ever see one of them, one of those ever again? Like, watching, Tyson Fury or Joshua or Floyd or Deontay Wilder or Andre Ward, like, it's still not the same as watching those two when, we were growing up. Like, it like, those two are fucking superheroes. These other guys that have been around, they're still great boxers. They don't have like the same type of aura around them of just like,
I'll say it is.
People are on another level.
I'll say it is. I fuss with Tyson Fury because like that man talk the talk and he the baddest nigga out there, and he ain't a nigga like like bro, like and he's a one of one. So Yeah, I like Tyson Fury, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I like them all too, but it's just like it just is not the same thing, and obviously this is a lot that comes down to like the nostalgia factor. But I mean, we saw them buy rates. we saw them buy rates like if a Tyson dropped out the sky now, his buy rate would just be through the roof. And I mean, like, you know, even Floyd does use buy rates, but he still didn't draw on the general public's like, or captivate them in the way that like Tyson did. Just didn't. And there's no shady because we made shit ton of money than all the other boxers. I keep wanting to say wrestlers, probably because most of them are workers, but it's just something that just is kind of missing. And like, you know, people have talked about like the heavyweight or boxing isn't as popular because the heavyweight division, you know, wasn't back, and it's like then you all of a sudden you have all these super heavyweight motherfuckers come out, and then like it does very well, but like it's just like, you know, we're out of the boxing phase. It was just like being the biggest sport. Like they can do events, but they can't do the, you know, it's on TV, it's on, you know, the radio or everybody. It just stops the whole entire thing for multiple times a year. It can do it maybe once or twice a year, but not at the same thing it used to be. Which is obvious. But
yeah.
Anything else you want to cover on the show or on that particular show last night?
I'm trying to think. There's a lot of bum versus bum on there. Yeah, so I don't know, man. That Jake Paul and that Nate Robinson, my God, like, if you haven't seen it, go out of your way to see like the pain this man inflicted. Like, bro, the trolling. Like, he came out to the basketball song. I'm only shocked he didn't walk out wearing a Nate Robinson jersey as well. Nate Robinson showed up dressed like a Knick, got treated like a Knick. Oh man! You know, shout out to the Knicks fans that's out there, but god damn, like. Yeah, man. I don't know what this was, man.
Look, I know it's easy.
And I heard they ain't pay him nothing.
Look, I know it's easy to clown on Nate Robinson or whatever, but in Knicks fans because he came out in the orange and blue. But I got a better joke for you. Let's say he had one. Would they have made a banner for that and put that up in the MSG? Would it? You know how they? You know, because they put up Atlantic Division banners in MSG. Yes, they have a Billy Joel banner up in MSG, I believe. You know when they do house shows for WWE and that Hulk Hogan banner up there.
Yes.
So if that's the case, why couldn't Nate Robinson have gotten a banner put up there? And it's been a white, orange, and blue glove. And said Nate Robinson and the dates of when he took out. Yeah. Why not? That man won, man, three dunk contests? Weren't those all in Knicks gear?
I believe so.
What else you got? Is Nate Robinson, is Amari and Carmelo the last 20 years?
Well, there's Linsanity too.
Oh, so a month and a half of Linsanity or 2 months of Linsanity. It was more like a month or 6 weeks. More like 6 weeks.
Yeah, you know.
If you want to clown up Linsanity shit, like, anybody had no shit to say, and they was out here hitting the game winners and shit. That happened. Like, Linsanity was a real thing. They were breaking out of ESPN television to break into the end of games so you can just watch him nail a buzzer beater against the Raptors. That was a thing.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, so that's the top four: Nate Robinson dunk contest, Linsanity, Carmelo, in like the 2 months they had of Amari starting before his knees went out.
Yep. What's up, Tom? So, I was on Keepin It Strong Style this week. They dropped a bonus episode breaking their year awards. It's kind of an annual thing. I was on there last year as well, the year before. They go through their end of the year awards.
Hold on, you broke up a little bit. So you said they were breaking down their end of year awards and Keepin It Strong Style?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of like an annual thing. I've joined them, and I just wanted to do this segment here to kind of let you guys know that those awards are open. If you guys have been watching New Japan, we're going to take a look at some of these awards in like rapid fire fashion. So if you want the deep dive into the awards, check that show out that I was on. I believe there was a fun fact that it was like the same exact length as last year. So true workers know how to hit their time, you know. But yeah, man, I shot you over to this list. So what you think about this?
Well, we talked about this, and then we ended up messaging Josh before we just went on air. It's like, I don't see, one, you look at Gaijin of the year, and you see, you know, Finn Juice, Gorillas of Destiny, Jeff Cobb, Ospreay, and Jay White, and so it makes you ask, like, where's Jon Moxley? And then it also makes you ask, bruh, where is Zack Sabre Jr.? So, like,
I asked if he was a Japanese national. Apparently not.
Yeah, so, obviously that's just an omission, but like, you know, the Moxley thing comes with, you know, the overrun thing of, you don't want, like, you know, what happened to us when it came to Stardom Rest of the Year last year, Bea Priestley just fucking wins when it's like, dude, she's like she's lucky to even be nominated, let alone wins the fucking thing. So like, so you wonder if that, you know, that came into play, but then you see the no Sabre thing is like, hey bro, what's going on? Did y'all just forget this man? Feud of the Year, you know, we talked about this off air when it came to LIJ and versus Evil, where it's like, I don't think that thing deserves to be nominated, but, you know, it's their list, so do what you want to. Like, I wouldn't vote for that shit. You know, quite frankly, I think the best competition for any award is the Carl Gosh Strong Style Award, because there was a lot of head busting going on in New Japan, like in the, you know, semi-main, third match or second or really more third from the top on these New Japan cards, like Ibushi, Ishii, Nagata, Suzuki, Taichi, and Shingo. They all had great years wrestling mostly each other and like killing themselves with a never title, especially the Shingo stuff. Tag Team of the Year, I mean, for me it'd be Golden Aces or Dangerous Trekkers, but you know, it's New Japan, it's tag teams. It was no people can come in because of the pandemic. Anything to catch your eye?
So looking at the Wrestler of the Year, I brought this point up on the show. I was like, well, you know, the super top end, like, you know, like usually there's a wrestler that's grabbing you in New Japan every year that's like, yo, this is my fucking award. Like last year, Ospreay, year before Kenny, Okada, like, but that's not there this year. Right. So, with that ceiling being lowered,
quite frankly, 2017 Kenny Omega wipes out anybody from this year. Like
half of 2017 Kenny Omega wipes them off. But they, I said with that ceiling being lowered, like the people that have just, you know, have stuck, that have always been consistent, that are like your Ishiis or your Suzuki's, like they might have a chance to break through and steal one of these.
You get them like your Susan Lucci moment.
Yep, like, and I'm gonna let everybody know right now, I'm voting for Tomohiro Ishii as the Wrestler of the Year because
figured.
Yeah, look, like going through it, like I was like, for me, it feels like the stuff that Ishii could handle, he controlled.
Yeah,
he's like, well, you ain't gonna give me no protection in booking. Y'all just gonna beat me like a drum at every point. All right, I got something for you. Like, I'll just be the same great wrestler I was, whether there's no fans, whether they're there being quiet. It doesn't matter. Tanahashi getting on that Wrestler of the Year list, just a testament to him. Carrying that sorry B block. No Evil on Wrestler of the Year, which is quite hilarious.
Yeah. But I mean, he doesn't deserve to be on here. You know.
Yeah.
Like
a man wins the IWGP Double Championship, and somehow does not make it on there.
No, and has one of the best turns and angles of the year in all of wrestling.
So, you see what happens when everything sucks after?
Yeah. Yep. Match of the year is interesting because, you know, it's going to be a bunch of different opinions. You know, for me, I think either one of the Wrestle Kingdom matches I'd vote for, but I haven't decided yet. I'll figure it out once I start doing end of the year stuff and rewatching stuff. Show of the year, I think is gonna. I already sense what's up on the horizon, right? Like the best show, top to bottom, that New Japan put out this year was the best show of the year, top to bottom, which was night 13 of the G1. But I'm pretty sure that night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom will win. Just a hunch. That's how it'll break down. And it'll be no other reason than Naito won the double belts, or became double champion. Junior of the year, like that, I feel like Hiromu's gonna win in a walk. Shout out to Show. Show had some incredible matches, especially during the New Japan Cup time frame with Shingo. But and you know, even we'll figure out the rest of the year with best Super Juniors. But like, I think Hiromu's, you know, I think it's pretty much an open and shut case for that.
Yeah.
Trying to think, what am I missing?
The Strong Style Fight of the Year category is pretty loaded.
That's the strength
that
of the
they
year
have on here.
That's strength of the year. It's like strength of the year.
So I wish like the promotion was centered around this stuff rather than the stuff it is centered around. So taking a look at this list is you got Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki, Ishii versus Shingo, New Japan Road, Yuji Nagata, Minoru Suzuki, the Slapfest, Sho and Shingo in the New Japan Cup, Minoru Suzuki and Shingo Takagi and Jingu, Ishii versus Suzuki, day one of the G1, Ibushi versus Ishii, Taichi versus Ishii, Ibushi versus Shingo, Ibushi versus Suzuki, and Ibushi versus Taichi. So like just a whole bunch of like hitting and fighting and, you know, surviving. So
I mean, and
looking at their angle of the year, lots of heat in the angle of the year section. Lots of heat in the angle of the year section. Lots of stuff. Just for me, questioning like why even do this? Like Kenta jumping out on Naito. To me, it's just an attack after a match. But whatever. All you did was just make, you know, everyone upset that was happy. But you know, I still think they, you know, do whatever business they're going to do the next month without it. Whatever. Evil joining the Bullet Club. That's a gifable moment, like when he throws up the fist, but turns into a too sweet and does his finish. But everything after that sucked. Dick Togo, yikes. For me, this is easy. Suzuki and Moxley at WrestleMania 14. Everyone lost their fucking minds when this happened. It was like the one thing. It was like, man, you know, something awesome is coming. It fucking delivers. Like,
yeah, but I mean, if we're talking about angle as far as like a singular moment where something happens that is, you know, big or shocking or well executed, like I get what you're saying. The follow up like makes it feel better, but like I don't necessarily know if you should. I don't know if you should necessarily be attaching the follow through with it, but yeah, as far as that, like that's probably the best thing on here, be including the follow through. But I just have a hard time imagining anything beats Evil versus Evil turning on Bullet Club. Now, as far as like Dick Togo showing up, which is like literally the next night, yeah, but you know, whatever. Like Dick Togo is choking motherfuckers out. Like this, what
Road Wire.
What a fucking bane on Mike Simpson, New Japan watching this like from the summer on. Just get it away, stop it, take it out back and shoot it dead.
Twice. A lot of different categories on here, so I'll just run through the names of all of them. If you guys want to check them out, there's the Antonio Inoki Wrestler of the Year. They have the Match of the Year. They have a Show of the Year. Jushin Thunder Liger Jr. of the Year. Tag Team of the Year. Carl Gotch Strong Style Award, which should be renamed the Tomohiro Ishii Strong Style Award after he wins it again. We got the Feud of the Year, the Big Van Vader Gaijin of the Year. We should change that to the Kenny Omega Gaijin of the Year, Faction of the Year, Most Improved, Newcomer of the Year, Fighting Spirit Award, the Young Boy of the Year, New Japan of America MVP. That's going to be interesting because I don't know how many people watch that. But Strong Style Fight of the Year, Junior Match of the Year, Tag Team Match of the Year, Excursion Match of the Year, Angle of the Year, and News Story of the Year. So some of the news stories that were on there.
Yeah, which is interesting. We talked about this off air, like Excursion Match of the Year, Moxie's has like 2 matches on there. Strong Style Match of the Year, he has 1 on there. Gaijin of the Year, not listed.
Yeah,
I think, whether it's omission or safeguarding, something. You need to talk to that committee over there, to the K.I.S.S. committee.
Something was rigged.
Yes, there is some jury.
There's rigging going on.
Yes. There's somebody out here just omitting people off the ballot. Look, John Moxley should petition, or actually should read the rights and talk down on Keepin It Strong Style the same way The Weeknd was talking down on the Grammys earlier this week. It's like, look what I've done. Look what I've accomplished. I've been fucked. Fuck y'all. Like, that's what he should do. How dare you doubt the what will most likely be the Wrestler of the Year 2020? How dare you?
Amazing. Well, yeah, make sure y'all vote in those awards, and y'all don't do no fuck shit, because we wouldn't had to do a recount. We wouldn't have to stop the count. We wouldn't have to do none of that. So
yeah, and tell Josh and Jeremy to stop the fraud.
Yeah, stop the fraud.
All right, so I think we're going to make good time on this show. I'm probably speaking too soon now.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
But we are now inside of, probably like 47 minutes or something like that. We are getting
what the hell's going on?
The Wednesday shows.
What the hell's going on?
AEW Dynamite and NXT. I thought that these were 2 good shows. Pretty consistent. Like there was no except for Loomis, of course. I don't.
Is that man like the front runner for the Put Him in a Coffin award this year?
I mean, for NXT, he's in it by a landslide. Like he drags everything into the mud. Everything. Look, if we're gonna do they're talking like this bracketology, right? Like out of the NXT region, he's definitely the 1 seed for that.
He's the nominee.
Yeah, like he's as much of a lock to be the number 1 seed as like Nasco Torre is out of the Stardom region. Definitely. Yikes. Like we'll get into New Japan later. We already talked enough New Japan, but like there are some people I think I have people like locked in as my picks for like each region, if you will, each discipline of each brand.
Yes.
Definitely Dexter Loomis. I can't wait for him to fuck off to who knows where. Hope he hits the look. Hope he wins the lotto. Hope he can retire and not have to do this anymore, so that I don't have to watch him do this. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. Oh, we'll get to it, but bro, Loomis and Grimes will not end. It will not end.
Yikes.
Wait till you wait. Just wait till you hear this.
Look, I have some off the air comments to share with you about that as well.
Okay.
Just mind-boggling. It's just like they don't understand.
Of course not. They keep doing it.
Yeah. So AEW is the Thanksgiving Eve show that they do. It's kind of one of their tradition shows that they were trying to establish. So had there been no pandemic, this show would have been in Chicago, like last year. What's up?
In the building that they did All In at, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we opened this show up with Hangman Page against John Silver. So this was awesome. Silver continues to inch closer and closer to being over. Hangman had a good effort here. Silver's just like incredible offense in this, and he's baby packed. and now that Pac is back. Hopefully we get this Pac John Silver match popped off eventually. But this Hangman needed a good showing like that. This is his first match since Full Gear. John Silver with Brody Lee out. He's clearly the star of the Dark Order. And this was like, fast paced work, stiff, athletic, technical, all in one.
Yeah, there's just something to Silver's game to where, like, you watch him and he's good, and then he hits a gear where of unanswered offers, like, whoa. And I'm not saying he's doing any, like, super flashy stuff. It's just, like, the aggressiveness, the physicality, it just ratchets up, and you're like, this dude, he has a whole nother level. And if he were in, Best Super Juniors, if he were in PWG, like, as a solo act, like, what could he actually, really accomplish on his own? Like, he's damn good, and him and Hangman, like, they had a fun match, and it's good to see Hangman, like, out of hiding. He's been nowhere to be found, kind of, for like the last couple of weeks. So it's good to get him a nice one on his belt to get him, going wherever he's going to go.
Yeah, man. If I got whooped, how I got whooped at Full Gear, I wouldn't show my face either. I just drink, like he did. Yeah, it was a really good match. But after the match, Uno basically reached out to Hangman, and he compared the Elite actually to a cult, and said that you tried to leave, but they won't let you leave, and the Elite's the real cult. And but we're here for you, and basically he's offering him a spot in the group, and Hangman just like kind of looks at him and smiles, and looks to be the start of something here. So
yeah, this made me roll my eyes, because like, now you're going back and forth on what is actually y'all did. Like, if Cody can leave, why can't the Hangman? This is bullshit. No, stop. Like, this is not Jey Uso had to be a slave for the tribal chief. It's not the same thing. No, stop it. But yeah, that's my only, like, that was my only thing that, like, made me roll my eyes. Like, no, we're past this now. Like, I don't need more. Like, we're deciding whether or not, like, he had agency or not, or whether he's a grown ass man who made decisions for himself. He's stuck. It's stupid.
As far as I know, he still ain't even apologized to the Young Bucks yet. And the Young Bucks have prospered. They still won the belts anyway. So yeah. Also got the Young Bucks book, excellent book. High recommend for y'all to check it out. Just lots of unique stories about those guys, because like I didn't really know their whole story. How they came in the business and everything they went through, but like, yeah, like. It's really goofy for me now when to hear someone to say that the Young Bucks are not the greatest tag team of all time. like it's goofy to not hear that. So after that, Kenny Omega got interviewed by Alex Marvez. He basically asked him about his thoughts on Moxley's beatdown. Kenny said 1 year ago he was nursing injuries from the Moxley match. The difference is now that Moxley's being called the best. Kenny's in the full suit and glasses. He said the common thread that binds them is the AEW World Title. Until Omega gets the belt, people won't consider him the best. He told, he issued a gentleman's challenge and told that man to leave the garbage wrestling at home. We're going to get in the ring and do this man to man. And told him to beat me based on your wrestling ability. He brought up Moxley's promo about his father and said, quite frankly, my dad would beat the shit out of your dad, and they didn't edit him. So this was great. Kenny letting people know, y'all ain't got nothing to worry about on these promos at all.
Yeah, this is Moxley. This was Omega's best promo in AEW. The only note I have is I don't give a shit like whose dad can beat up who. This isn't fucking elementary school, but outside of that, like, it was a great promo.
Yeah. So, knowing that he was gonna get his ass whooped later, they had to like give him something with this. So they aired another one of those Darby Allin videos where he set a car on fire. Thanks.
That's the same car from the last pay-per-view where he won it. where he won the title from Cody.
Yeah, the face of TNT car.
Yep. So, I don't know where they put that in storage, but like that was cool.
Yeah. So up next we got Powerhouse Hobbs, the newly named Powerhouse Hobbs, against Lee Johnson. So Mr. Powerhouse came out in the Taz singlet, the orange and black. I kind of like, Taz passing on the colors, if you will. And this was, the Nightmare family getting whooped here. Lee Johnson has been hand selected by Cody to take this ass whooping, apparently, from Hobbs. So he basically fucked this man up, threw him outside the ring, was taunting people. He hit like a World's Strongest Slam type move for a squash. After that, Taz got on the mic, basically told Hobbs to go celebrate, just like Ricky and Cage. He got something personal to say. Started complaining that the FTW title is not officially recognized in AEW, and he ain't going to leave until it means something. There's also been stuff going on like these Twitter interviews where Cody burying the FTW title, said it should be in a museum, basically downplaying all the ECW stuff and said no one cares. Taz basically got his mic cut off, and then Justin Roberts gave him his mic, cut that mic too. So Cody's walking out. He's got the headset on and shit, and it's like, come on, man. And then Taz is wasting time, basically valuable minutes on national television. Got to pay for this. They announced next week that Hobbs and Ricky are going to face Cody and Darby Allin. Taz said that ain't enough. He said that, you was out here trying to, rush us through, because we whooped that ass last week. And he said he's going to talk to his superiors about it, but Taz was like, what are you going to tell me? Creative's got nothing for me. And that pissed Cody off. Cody got in the ring. He totally didn't respond to anything. He said, hey man, if I'm such a kiss ass or whatever, why is your son training with me to wrestle? Taz ain't like that. He basically dropped the microphone and then whispered off camera like, this shit is a shoot. Like, this shit is too far. Like, you have crossed the line. I would deal with you at another time. Or so Cody thought. Cody thought it was sweet, and I guess he didn't learn the lesson from Jake Roberts earlier this year. When Jake said, you turn your back on a man that you don't respect. Apparently he didn't respect Taz. So Taz went ahead and grabbed the Taz mission and choked this motherfucker out in one of my favorite moments of the year.
What, really? This is one of your favorite moments of the year? You hate Cody that much? God damn.
Taz is so fucking awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome. I did roll my eyes when they started cutting mics. I was like, come on, man. We know what you're doing. We know this is, they're trying to make this is real. No, bro.
Taz ain't got physical in years and years and years and years.
Yeah. I don't... Okay, so it popped me that he slapped this Hasman shit on Cody. However, I don't know if I want Cody getting laid out by a dude in his 50s. How old is Taz?
Probably in his 50s.
Yeah, a dude that's been out of the game wrestling for over a decade now. I don't know if how I feel about it, even if it's he suckered him, but it was fun. I'm of two minds of it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know if I would do that if I were booking it, but whatever.
Yeah. So Taz's son then appeared and he walked off with Taz. Apparently, his son was originally training with Creative Pro, which is that Pat Buck and what's his name? Dude that lost all the matches in a row.
Avalon?
No, in WWE, Zack Ryder's partner, Brian Myers.
Brian Myers, Kurt Hawkins.
Same places like MJF, like Max Caster, a lot of those guys.
So
now he's right now he's with Cody and QT, I believe, in Nightmare Factory. So apparently he's a Division I athlete, and I think he's 19 years old. So we'll see. After that, Eddie Kingston was getting interviewed by Alex Marvez. He asked about the reformation of the Death Triangle. Kingston said he's not mad. He's just disappointed. And he expected this from Phoenix because he does all those flashy moves and all that, but not Penta. Then Mox interrupted him what the fuck's going on?
Yes, no flashy moves. This man will turn anything into a Canadian destroyer. No flashy moves, though.
Yeah. Then he interrupted and said, and Kingston said, the backstage attack wasn't me, and you know who it was. But it just lets you know that they can go back, they can heat that up anytime because this beef is still there. Just like the beef is still there with Shawn Spears and Cody. Just like, these long running beefs that they just don't they don't wipe your brain clean. Like they shouldn't be,
These are human beings and memories of things that happened in the past in relationships, and they go from there. Yes, like that's how this should work.
Yep.
That's how it works most places.
Yeah. Then after that, we got the Hybrid 2 taking on Top Flight. So we got second week of Top Flight in a row here. Obviously, they got attacked by Hybrid 2 last week. This was okay. This wasn't as good as their match against the Bucks, but Hybrid 2 ended up getting the win. Looks like they're headed towards a Hybrid 2 Bucks match because Hybrid 2's been hanging around, not doing much, essentially their whole time in AEW. But
they're dark alums.
Yeah, so them against the Bucks should be pretty excellent. And then Top Flight, like I said on the show, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, these guys are a long-term thing. You don't, for me, if it's me, I don't push them at all until next summer. Let them get their reps in, losing, winning matches, going back and forth. Just come out there and be impressive. I thought they were good enough here. But yeah, these guys are clearly the future.
yeah. That's a clear, draft and stash type of team. You can put them into tournaments, whatever else, and they show you the depth of your what you have, and then 2 or 3 years from now, them in Private Party, just look out. just look out.
Yep.
So one thing I want to make note of, when I was watching Dynamite live, I was looking at Lucha Blog. Hybrid 2 does a lot of wrestling in AAA, and then they did Lucha Underground.
How could I forget? Excalibur always telling me about the fucking Yave. That's the only thing I fucking know about Angelico.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, what? Yeah, you want to tell him,
I mean, clearly something's going on with every time I see Angelico, I always have cool new jokes that involves him and selling drugs or being on drugs because he just or him looking like an X game ass motherfucker, him and Jack Evans both they just I don't know. I don't know what to do with those two. They're clearly super talented, but they normally lose. And I was looking at Lucha Blog, his Twitter account, and I saw that apparently this was Hybrid 2's first win on a TV show since 2016 on AAA.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, indeed. They've been on a lot of fucking shows, and they was out here doing jobs. Lots of jobs. Always got work.
Amazing. Out here prospering now. So
apparently so. All it takes is one win against a team that hasn't won a match on television yet. Off to the races.
Yep, get them going. So Vicky then got a little promo package. She basically had Nyla back behind her. Said she's going to teach. This is actually pretty good. She's going to teach a lesson in nepotism, and then she's Brandy Rhodes. And she said she wasn't the one who told Jay Hargill to attack her last week. Anytime they could do something like that, I think it's going to get over. So
yeah, it's funny because she's banging on nepotism, but why she ain't bark up that cronyism tree?
Yeah. Then FTR video package aired. These boys look like they ain't slept in weeks. Tully was in there. They said that even though their full gear match got a ton of accolades, that doesn't mean anything because they lost. They maintain that they're the best team and they need those belts back. Tully said the championships remain FTR's destiny and told the Bucks to fear the revelation.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Are you ready for round 2?
How soon? Or are you just asking in general?
Just in general.
Yeah, I would love to see them wrestle again. I think they got a better match in them. To be quite frankly, to be quite frank.
Yeah. And then we've got Jericho and Hager with the entire Inner Circle coming out against SCU. So they were playing making a big deal of Christopher Daniels and Jericho never being in the ring together. I think they said a combined 57 years experience, and we saw that on display.
That's disrespectful. It was a good match.
This is pretty good actually.
Yeah, I know we make the jokes about Daniels and when he blew the Arabian moonsault all the months ago with Pentagon.
That was a work.
It still looks awful. Either way.
Great worker.
And then also we talk about Jericho this year's performance since he lost the belt, but Kazarian, God bless him.
He don't miss.
God bless him.
Frankie,
God bless him.
Frankie, you can put him anywhere. Yeah. And he's gonna be like, all right, ain't no night off.
We can even find out his background. He might be a Can't Go Back All-Star the way he wrestled.
Yeah. But and also my hypothesis with Jake Hager still holds up. You put him in there with somebody that's not formerly in WWE, you might get something different out of him. And this was good.
I have no notes for this match except we got to get Kazarian to stop doing any Hurricane Rana because he's going to fucking kill himself. This is the third time I've seen this man land on his neck and shoulders trying to do Hurricane Rana. He didn't get on point, and he just basically powerbombed himself on the floor.
The Cena Karana.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is pretty good. Daniels actually was really good in this match. Ended up doing his best moonsault ever. So it's amazing. He got his shirt ripped off. So you don't see Daniels without the shirt too often no more. And they ended up getting a dirty win after MJF. Perfect timing. Knocks Daniels with the ring. They pinned him basically, and Santana was like, that's how you do it, the MJF on the outside of the ring. So I'm watching everything with the Inner Circle. I'm paying a lot of attention to see how long it's going to take MJF to win over the rest of these guys. So eventually, get Jericho the fuck out of there. So this is something to pay attention to.
Okay, so you're still on they're going to go straight to that. I think they're going to have a Civil War first before they... I think that's kind of how it breaks down. They'll have some type of Civil War, and then parts will be mixed up, or just Jericho and Sammy will be sent out. But I think they're going to have some match involving the Inner Circle in general before they get to that. Before they get to getting Jericho out of there, he loses power or whatever else.
Speaking of the ring, they announced on the show, they just kind of put a graphic up. There's going to be another Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal that takes place next week as well. So I don't know. Wardlow, interesting. Wardlow is in this match. MJF is in this match. Hangman's in this match. They were in it last year. So we'll see where it leads. I would think MJF would go back to back here, but we'll see how that plays out.
It'd be funny as shit if he won it again. He'd be like, I got 2 rings.
2. I want another one. Or if Wardlow wins, he'd be like, I got a ring 2 now, or whatever. So
but here's the thing: if Wardlow wins, then I'm pretty sure over. I'm pretty sure in the contract he has to hand that over to MJF. So then MJF still wins. It has 2 rings.
Yep. So, Kip Sabian and Miro were with Penelope Ford to debut their new video game segment. Orange Cassidy walked up and basically was like, he turned off the system. Miro was pissed. He said, my wife bought me that. Winking at Lana. He walked outside, but the best friends were waiting for him, and they jumped Sabian and Miro. I don't know. I don't know, man. Kip and Miro... Week to week, I don't know what I'm gonna get. I'm just here comes this bullshit, or it's okay, that wasn't that bad.
I don't think any of it's awful. I just think I just don't care for any of it. I don't care. I just don't care. And like, I wish that Rusev, Miro were like in a position to kill people, but it's like they have so many Brody, Archer, Cage, Miro, Hager, Wardlow types that it's kind of like, well, you know, all these people, only like half of them on the show at any given time. Like, when's the last time we seen Brody, right? So clearly, like, they're trying to cycle these people and try to trying to help them get in where they fit in. So it's kind of a struggle for Miro to try to, break ground on this new show,
carve his own real estate.
Yeah.
I think he's someone to look out for should the title change. Speaking of that, the world title contract signing was next. So basically, Kenny posed behind the screen as they talked about him being an Observer Hall of Famer. The Broom Girls came out, was dancing. And all of a sudden, there was a second silhouette behind him, and it was a jump zone.
This reminded me of the good old days of 2014 when Dean Ambrose used to run up and beat the shit out of Seth Rollins. Like, it was like, this dude, this wet-headed fuck nigga, it's just, bumped his gums, and here comes the man to come whoop that ass. It made me feel nostalgic for those days. Who would have known that 2014 WWE were the good old days?
Yikes. So he basically he dog walks Kenny to the ring and throws the belt down. Kenny reaches for the belt. He stands on top of the belt and grabs the mic. He actually did a paradigm shift as well.
Yeah.
He said whoever Kenny hired him last week to attack him did a bad job because he's still here. I mean, I don't know. They left your ass fucked up last week, but I won't go there. He said the only way to that Kenny's going to become the champion is by digging down and being the Kenny Omega that everyone thinks you can be. Awesome line. Moxley then started promoting the match and said that the winner is coming for Kenny, tying in the name of the show. He said, steady your aim and take your shot. Only thing because you're only going to get one. And he said, basically,
the wire line.
The wire line. Yeah, he did a wire line, and then he thanked Tony Schiavone and signed the contract. I would like them to go. Yes, it's time.
Like, I mean, in wrestling, I feel like it's been used a lot in the last like 4 years. A lot. Yeah.
I would have liked to see him go face to face at some point for real. Like, it seems like they did like some things to kind of like get out of that. I liked the build. I thought pretty much all the promos were like good. I didn't think there were like any like holy fuck promos, but we already know what this is. This is the biggest match in the history of Dynamite next week. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I got a feeling it's going to take up some segments, and I think it's time to switch the belt.
I just want a clean finish. I don't care what they do. So for me, I feel like nothing approached the the Kingston and Moxley face to face, but like what the fuck else does this year except for like maybe two things. So from that perspective, I feel like this was more than good enough to sell you on a television championship match on basically like a three week program. So that has history from a year ago. So I'm excited. I finally in a match that I've been begging for like 15 months. So I'm happy. Can't wait.
Yeah.
We even have a special guest for next week. That's how much I'm into this show.
Yeah.
Next week.
So. Yep. So, I don't think that they basically reinvent Kenny this much for him to lose. I would think the draw is in, like, I think you have to bring that up. I wouldn't necessarily like the draw, but I wouldn't hate it either. But I'm anticipating there's going to be a winner and a loser in this match.
Yeah. So. I wasn't even entertaining a draw, but sure.
So
I mean, oh shit, they're talking matches are an hour long, aren't they?
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. They're not going to go to commercial break. Like I don't think the AEW will go through commercial break. We'll go 60 minutes, go through multiple commercial breaks for their title match in a draw. I don't think that Tony Khan would do that, but we'll see.
Yeah. Unless they start the match at like 9:30 or something like that. I don't know if they'll do that though. If it's me, I'm starting actually at 9:00. I'm letting you know, like, yo, like we got matches on standby. We got standby matches, whatever. But we wanted to make sure this match has time to do whatever.
What? But why do you even? I don't even see why you even need to do that. Like you've had title matches that have gone on in main events and then go. I'm pretty sure AEW has had title matches go on last that didn't start at 9, even though there's an hour-long time limit. So it's like, I don't know why they need to do that now. Like, just...
Because they're not going to do a 15-minute match for this.
Well, right. I expect it to be more like around a half hour.
So...
Like, if they walk out at 9:15, or you'd be like, oh, well, shit, there's no chance that the draw's out. They're like, I don't want to fucking draw necessarily. I'd rather have someone get beat. So, fine with that.
Yeah. So after that, Jericho was supposed to be interviewed, but MJF took the microphone, called Kazarian a coward for sucker punching him. Just hilarious. After he immediately did a sucker punch,
he clearly got it from Jericho. Jericho loves to do that.
Yeah. And Jericho said the Inner Circle's fun and games are done. They're just going to get back to beating people up. Jericho must have heard me talking about them on the show, and said next week he's going to face Frank Kazarian. He's going to make him famous. I was like, well, you wonder, with Frankie and Jericho in there, is Jericho going to be allowed to mail that shit in?
Nah, I don't think so. Kazarian works too hard.
Yeah.
Get up. Like, imagine well, we were talking about it, since we just passed Survivor Series, last year's Survivor Series match, where it had Roddy in there with the mid-card champions AJ and Nakamura.
Yeah.
No, there will be no melanin. I'm gonna work too hard. Y'all don't want to get embarrassed.
Yeah, bro. Like, that man came out there and saved that match. So after that, we got a video package before the women's title match. This was a nice video package that they did. Anna Jay or Hikaru Shida was like, the thing you're going to need is heart to beat me, essentially. Not like your best friend, not your training, not your cult, but,
not your cult.
Yeah. So Anna Jay talked about her lack of experience, and now she's being trained in judo by Ty Conti. She said her knee is fine, and challenged her to find more heart, as I said.
She's talking about her knee. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a pretty good match. They did this like cool thing that I liked that made it feel like a boxing match, to where they had the color associated with whatever like gear was associated with the wrestler that was like watermarked on the thing. It was just a subtle thing.
Yeah, they did it a couple times. I think it was the second time they did during the show that I remember seeing it.
Yeah, I think they did it in the SU and Jericho and Hager match as well. So this was pretty good, and MJ, I don't want to even feel like she's like improved all that much, because I always thought she like was a certain level of decent for her level of experience. Still, I don't think you have you don't really you didn't think that she was going to win at any time here, but she was a solid enough person, and she ended up getting the win. She did get knocked with the kendo stick in the knee, then immediately do the knee finisher, which was like, okay, but this is actually
sold it though, right? For a kick out, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, it was a kick out.
Yeah. So I mean,
she found her inner resolve.
I mean, okay, you hit the knee thing after you just get your knee worked on or whatever else. You sell it like to sell, like, is when someone has messed up ribs, does this frog splash, and you sell it, and then like that's a near fall. Like, you have the match won, but because you have to sell, you can't. Like it's a staple. It's a staple.
Yeah. So then we got Shida with a win, big knee to the face, defends the belt. She's walking out of there, and they're like, who can step up to Shida next? And then all of a sudden, Abaddon's music played. Oh my god. I am so upset about this.
Really?
I'm sure Abaddon's a fine, a nice young lady.
Oh, he's about to Alvarez you.
Nothing against her.
This man about to Alvarez. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure Abaddon's a nice young lady, and the internet was trying to stop me by breaking it up before I got it all out. But like, these people have cried for more women's matches and everything like that, and this is what it's led to them going down the Rolodex and be like, oh, we haven't given Abaddon a shot in a while. So while this will be the worst part of the show when it happens, I hope y'all enjoy this, because I don't want to see this shit. Like I don't want to see Sheeta cowering in fear from the bloody mouthed dead person licking the belt, like it's like she's Hiromu Takahashi, but she's not Hiromu Takahashi. I don't know. I think this is terrible, and this is just like poor scouting. I don't know why Abaddon's there. I think she's possibly the worst wrestler on the roster. If this is a thing to where she can step up and get beat in a couple weeks, okay, fine. I still have to watch the shit, but I hope it's not like pay-per-view direction. I think they're a lot smarter than that, because they've had Sheeta beat everyone pretty much like she's Moxley this year. So yeah, I don't want to see this at all.
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I'm not as strongest as you are. I've only seen Abaddon wrestle once. She wasn't good. Maybe it's they're throwing her at a girl after what happened to her with Tay Conti on a show, on a match she didn't make air. But it's just I feel like just a stat pad for Sheeta, which is like cool on one end. I also wish that I don't know what's next for her other than drop the belt to Britt. It feels like we're at the end, so it's like, all right, when do you want to do it? And it seems like we're some time away from it. Like, probably it's not going to happen this year, so we're kind of just waiting for this to finish out. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. Not excited about the Abaddon getting to wrestle Sheeta and Sheeta having to sell that fear.
Or we just assuming it's coming the next couple weeks?
We're assuming.
Okay.
They didn't announce it yet.
Okay.
So Matt Hardy's back. So he's been doing this character on Being the Elite the last couple of weeks, where he's acted like he's this legend and icon and everything like that. Really talking himself up, basically saying he's invented everything. He's this trailblazer, this genius for the business. He's finally got that character on Dynamite now. So he called himself the most influential trailblazer in wrestling. And now he's overcome his insurmountable odds, and they showed him hitting a home run on Sammy Guevara's dome with the steel chair, and he's clearly like turning now. So it'll be interesting to see if Private Party turns along with him, or there's like a new team that he ends up affiliated with.
Yeah, don't have much to say on it. It's a good promo. I just don't. I mean, I don't know where we're going with it, but yeah, it was a good promo.
Yep. A better promo happened after, as Team Taz lined up without Taz. Ricky Starks had his. Yeah, Ricky Starks showed up and he had this one Jack White guy behind him and with another Jack Black guy behind him, and it was like, man, he got these two big horses behind him, but we know who the real is. He said they respect Taz, but Cody crossed the line tonight. His paper thin ego keeps getting in the way. Before it was all business, but now it's personal. Cody, rushed out there because he didn't want to, he didn't want Taz to say that they whooped that ass last week. Yeah, I like Ricky Starks. I have from the second he's popped up in this promotion.
Yeah, another great Ricky Starks promo. I don't know what. I mean, they just have too much talent for their own good right now. So it's like, I don't know where this is going because like they might be off TV or one of them or Team Taz. It seems like Team Taz on cycle right now for this Cody stuff. But like after this, like where they go? Like they just like get you know, do they get taken out so that Brody Lee can come back, or you know, because Lance Archer just came back, so it's like who's going to go away while he's back? Like who? Like because this clearly like seems like some type of cycling going on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But then we got our main event, Butcher and the Blade against Pac and Rey Fenix. My dog Big Butch with another main event here. You know, continue to build a show around Big Butch.
What?
You know, getting the victory in the main event, standing tall. God. You know, headlining, main eventing. You know. This was awesome too. Eddie Kingston was on commentary for this match, and Butcher and the Blade were, you know, doing what they do, and Pac and Phoenix were hitting their dives. Pac did this moonsault to the outside of the ring while Phoenix did some type of dive over the top rope. I think it was like a tope suicida or something, and that was crazy. And they just basically, you know, took turns on Blade's ass, and then eventually Blade, you know, took advantage, and then we got Phoenix and Butcher in a little bit of action, and we got some more Butcher and Pac. Just a really good match, and you know they had a successful ratings segment last week, Pac and the Blade, so they gave them the main event spot this week. But yeah, at the end, basically Phoenix made a blind tag. They took out Blade. Kingston ran down to the ring, distracted the official. He pushed Phoenix into the ring, and then Butcher and Blade hit a powerbomb neckbreaker combo for the win. The family then, you know, continued whooping that ass after the match. He DDT'd Pac onto a steel chair, he being Kingston. And all of a sudden, Lance Archer ran out, and you start to remember that Lance Archer and Kingston have had beef since this battle royal. They were gonna, you know, team up once. You know, should Kingston have won the belt, he was supposed to get a title shot. There's old beef there. He basically sent the family packing, and I don't know if Lance Archer's a babyface or anything, but yeah, you know, just more interweaving. So awesome show. What do you think about this main event segment?
Yeah, super fun show. Got to see Pac and Phoenix do their thing, and I was you know just giddy watching them the whole time. So it was fun watch for me. Yeah, don't no clue what Archer has to do with any of this, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's all I got. Winter's coming next week, and very excited. Can't wait. So
yeah, okay. So NXT had 4 matches because I guess they needed time for the main event ladder match for World Games Advantage. But by the time I realized that was the 4th, there was only 4 matches. I was like, why did they do that? And then by the end of the show, I was like, this match was so good. I'm glad they took off the 4th match. This match needed time to do it. This match, the main event was fucking awesome. First match is Ember versus Candice. So the match starts with Candice basically on her bike, and she's running away from Ember and getting in the ropes to avoid trying to wrestle her. Ultimately leads to Ember outside the ring, getting distracted by Indy Hartwell. In comes Candice to try to baseball slide at her. Ember catches her, gives her a Casadora, and then like throws her head first into the steel steps after the wheelbarrow part of the Casadora. So that was cool. Then she gets her back in the ring, and she has the advantage until Raquel and Dakota come down, go to commercial break, they come back and show that they were distracting her during commercial break, which led to Candice getting back in control. Throughout this match, they threw a surprisingly amount of crisp, big shots at each other. Kicks, enziguris, forearm shots that sounded off. punches to the gut, open hand palms. It was really good, and it's makes me like Ember's so fucking good. Ember has yet to not be impressive in a match she's been back in NXT with this so far. So ultimately, Ember has the match won. She goes to the top for the Eclipse. Dakota and Raquel get on the apron and take the ref. Indy comes into ring and sacrifices herself by pushing K.I.S.S out the way. She eats an Eclipse. She later is in the show with a with a neck brace on to sell the Eclipse. And then Candice gets behind Ember and then hits her with her curb stomp for the win. So they all get up on the apron and they're about to basically shield attack Ember. Ember fights for a little bit and then eventually she escapes towards the ramp, and then Tony comes down. Given that these four have fucked with those two matches, Ember and Tony's matches, the last couple weeks, you're thinking, all right, well, that's gonna be a foundational piece of the babyface side. So Tony comes down. They look at each other, Ember, and they're like dumb baby faces. They're about to just go hit the ring after one of them just had a match and go take them on 2 versus 4. It's like, look, neither one of y'all are Rhea Ripley. Y'all can't be winning 2-on-4 fights. That's not allowed. So as they hit the ring, Ember gets in first. Toni Storm grabs Ember by the legs, drags her back out the ring, throws her into the steps, and Toni Storm turns heel. So
another big baby face that Triple H has said, nah, fuck that. We turning you heel. We bring you back for the War Games. Justice turn you heel?
Right. Now, from what I can see to be the lineup, it is better this way for the match. However, this move leads me to believe that like Rhea's not going nowhere, so they don't need a new number 2, number 1 babyface. They needed to fit her where they can fit her. Given that K.I.S.S and Dakota have already lost title matches, how do you get her? They're basically Triple H her. All right, there's Rock and there's Austin, which is Io and Rhea. And how do I get somebody else up the other side into that slot? Put them on the hillside. That's basically where this is headed. Like Triple H doing Triple H things based on how Triple H rose to the top. It's amazing how this works. It's almost like a vicious cycle.
A bad booker.
So that was the end of that segment. That went like all that stuff went like a half hour. So then we end up getting Legado del Fantasma. They're having a promo that's similar to what they've done together, where like they're basically all three of them together sitting down having a drink, just basically talking shit and burying the roster. They're burying the Cruiserweight division. We haven't seen Swerve in weeks. Where the fuck is he? Where the fuck is Jake Atlas? Where the fuck is Ashanti Adonis? Like we've ran this division. There's some new kid, some dude that has yet to debut on NXT. They showed his name's Kurt Stallion, I think, that they showed a picture of him. So apparently he's next, and they're basically like, we're going to run this division. We're going to turn Lucha Libre and make it into our image. So then we go from there. We end up getting a in-ring undisputed in-ring promo. Adam Cole talks about McAfee not being there because he's a coward. Or he said he's not there, so I can't tell you to your face that you're a coward. Talks about how you guys ran your mouth for all them weeks. We're back now. We're going to whoop your ass at War Games. We're going to take you to hell. Talked about how they brought the War Games to NXT. Well, not exactly that word, but more or less saying like we've had all these matches, all these War Games matches, or whatever else. Then
they ever won one?
I think they've won one, so I think they're like 1-2.
Okay.
But anyway, or maybe they lost all 3. I don't know. They about to win this one. But okay, so anyway, O'Reilly. So the match is for the advantage, the ladder match for War Games advantage. So Pete Dunne was immediately put in. McAfee's not there, so Pete Dunne is in this ladder match. So he says, like, you're gonna have to worry the whole night about who's going to be in the ladder match, Pete Dunne. And then all of a sudden, Colorado is like, look, Dunne put me on the show a few weeks ago after he, hit me in the back with a chair and stomped me out. So I want to fight him. So they all agreed that it's him. So it's O'Reilly versus Dunne. And that was the gist of the promo. So then we go backstage with Candice with no Indy Hartwell in sight, but with Dakota and Raquel. And the interviewer asks her, like, so, who is your team for War Games? So she tells the interviewer to bugger off for a second. She looks at Tegan and Raquel, and they're all in agreement. It's gonna be us. It's gonna be us three. Plus, it comes to the frame, Toni Storm. Toni Storm says, well, I told you guys in my return vignette that, like, this is a new, different Toni Storm, and that's what you're going to see here. And she says that she's coming for the title, or she's coming for the title. So, then we get the Garganos in a one of those Black Friday merch sale commercials, and Johnny's out of his fucking mind. He has on a Santa beard. He's calling himself Gargano Claus or Johnny Claus. Can't remember which one. He is talking about how great Candice is. He's like, points at the North American replica title, points at the tag titles, looks back at like all the shirts back there. He said, you can get yourself a Power Couples t-shirt. I don't know if you've seen Johnny and Candice's t-shirt. So it says Power Couples on it. It's like in this cartoon version of those two holding hands or doing some type of action. Anyway, they have it in black, they have it in dark blue, and they have it in pink, obviously, playing the genders. So he's like, he looks back at the stand and points at the shirts. Like, you can get it in black, or you can get it in pink, or you can get it in blue. And then he points to Shotzi's shirt, because Shotzi's shirt says "Eat My Tank," I think, and it has a tank on it, and she goes, he says some snide remark about Shotzi, saying like, you made her cry when you broke her tank, and then right next to it is Tegan Knox's shirt, and he points to Tegan Knox's shirt. He's like, you tore her ace, you ripped up her knee. I was like, God damn, Johnny, you're an asshole. So,
man, I forgot about her.
Well, I mean, she tore her ACL. What are they supposed to do?
I forgot she was live.
Wow. Well, that happens you don't watch. So then from there shut up. It's like who was it I was thinking of? Well, shit, go through the Survivor Series thing. He was like, damn, like, I forgot about this person. Well, you're not watching. It happens. So anyway, they go backstage. They show some of the students of Thatcher's Thatch Can watching on the screen to watch Thatcher go to work. So,
man.
So then we end up getting Thatcher versus Kushida. This match was so fucking fun. It's basically just them striking each other in between. Actually, I did it back. It's really just them basically doing anything you can do. I can do better between going through submission holds of Kimuras or ankle locks or heel hooks, and just going back and forth. In between that, when between it is like them reversing out a hold, slapping it back on, them selling, them getting up, them hitting each other with just big strikes and suplexes. It was a blast. So before the match started, Ciampa comes down to the ring and sits down in a folding chair. So they're having a match. They end up outside. Thatcher gets distracted by Ciampa, who's just standing there not doing anything, or sitting there not doing anything. So Kushida ends up getting him getting his arm, ends up doing his. It's hard to explain. It's almost like he grabs your arm, picks it apart, and then basically like bulldogs your arm as more like work for him to get for the hoverboard lock. So after that happens, I think Thatcher broke his nose on the floor as is happening. He comes up, mouth and nose just bleeding, gets back into the ring, and Thatcher gets control again, and he has a Kimura on Kushida. He looks up for a second at Ciampa. Next thing you know, Kushida gets back up, gets out of it, and then slaps on a hoverboard lock after working over this man's arm forever. And then Thatcher was selling. He ends up getting the tap out on Thatcher, which is the first time he's been tapped out on NXT television.
So he lost via submission to Dexter Lumis, and then he lost to Kushida here.
Yeah, but losing Kushida's not a big deal because like they're both submission masters. Like that's not a thing. Losing to Lumis is the one that's like that's unforgivable. Even if he didn't pass out, even if he didn't tap out, that's like why would you do that?
These students in the Thatch Can school, like they're gonna have to like relocate pretty soon.
I guess so. I think the next thing is like Ciampa fucks with his students, but we'll see. So Thatcher or Ciampa looks in the camera and was like, "Yeah, I think I'm in his head," and walks away. So then we end up getting a recap of the Io and Rhea match from last week, and they talk about like how hard hitting it was and put over like the body parts they sold during the match, and talked about the finish where Io does a slingshot out the ring and into a sunset power bomb that sends Rhea onto the table, and then Rhea makes the beats the 10 count, and then Io immediately drops her with a the moonsault for the win. So after that, they point out that they talked about how they do not like each other. Or Rhea says they don't like each other, but they do respect each other. And then Shelby says, "I don't know where this takes me. I don't know. And then they point out that they're going to do a in-ring like status report with Rhea later in the show. So then we end up getting a quick McAfee Goon promo where they're talking shit about, Dunn's going to beat Colorado's ass in the main event. Then we end up getting, because Kevin Owens is actually doing commentary he actually did commentary on the show. He basically filled in for Bad News Barrett. I gotta say, beginning of the show, like the first half hour, he stunk. And then after that, he was his normal self on commentary, which was really good. So I don't know why, I don't know what happened. It was like he needed like a half hour to warm up, but once he did, he was good again. So he's doing a KO show with Leon Ruff. Leon Ruff comes down. He talks about how, he just signed with WWE 7 weeks ago, how, training this whole time and making it through the industry. He was always told, doubted, and, people didn't believe in him. So he's like, he's trying to stay, he's basically like trying to be, wide-eyed kid that's being humble, but has a belief in himself. And then eventually, as he's saying all this stuff, Kevin Owens is like, "Look, man, I've made it here. I've made it beyond here. I've been a Universal Champion, whatever else. You got to kind of beat your chest a little bit more. You got to give off that confidence that you belong here. Like I know what you're saying, that you believe in yourself, but I don't really buy it. I need you to kind of, beat your chest." So then Leon Ruff kind of fires up, and then he name drops Gargano, and then Kevin Owens is like, God damn it, you shouldn't have name called him. Because you know how these segments go. The second you name call somebody, they're gonna come out in the huff. And like I can guarantee it, he counts down like it's probably like 3, 2, 1. Johnny's music plays, he comes down, talking a bunch of shit. So by the time he gets halfway down there, they do this running. They're doing this running gag with Kevin Owens, especially you've seen these Kevin Owens shows the last couple of years, where basically like he knows people are about to fight, and he gets out the way, or he clears furniture, or he brings in furniture because he's clairvoyant. It's one of those things where you're poking fun of the mechanics of WWE promos and talk shows or whatever else. So ultimately, Gargano talks shit or brings up Damian Priest. Damian Priest comes out. They do a gag where a fourth chair for the fourth person coming out beforehand. Priest comes out, says, Johnny, you can't beat him. He's beaten you twice already. It's a wrap. Johnny is furious. He gets only more mad. And then eventually it leads to a three-way where he's like, look, man, a couple weeks ago, you slapped Priest, tells Ruff. I believe you, but a couple weeks ago, you slapped me and said that you could beat either one of us in a triple threat match. So, I haven't had my rematch from when I lost Halloween Havoc, so let's have a three-way. Then out comes Regal. Regal says at TakeOver is going to be a triple threat match. So then we get a Balor tape promo, and Balor says basically nothing. He says that don't bring some of the lines like don't put checker pieces on my chessboard. Whatever. It's a nothing.
This
promo.
sounds like more. You come at the king, you best not miss a J shit.
Yeah. It's just more like this wasn't necessary. Like this is a promo heavy show, and this wasn't necessary. It was just more of like, well, we haven't seen him that often since he broke his jaw, so we have to put him out there. So like no, it wasn't necessary at all. He actually, the only point that is actually pertinent was he said like the winner of War Games, the team that wins men's War Games, like will probably somebody from one of those teams from the winning team will probably be my next challenger. So that's like the only thing that mattered on that promo. But that was like one sentence. So then we end up getting Atlas versus Grimes. Atlas got a jobber's interest as Grimes comes down. This is basically like it probably goes 5.
Man.
It probably goes 5 minutes. It's basically like probably less than that, probably 4 minutes. It's basically like a 3-minute long spot of them basically just running ropes, hitting high impact stuff on each other. There's a couple covers before ultimately they run ropes, they crush each other twice. Grimes hits his running Spanish fly, and then he hits the cave in and gets the win. He squashes Atlas. So Grimes looks into the camera because the cameraman is up on the apron. He looks at the camera as he says, "I'm going to the moon." And as he does his celebration, he goes back into a corner. Loomis is up on the apron staring at him. As he hits the corner, as Grimes hits that corner, he looks over his shoulder and sees Loomis, and then he runs out of there. And then as he's heading up, halfway up the ramp, Loomis points towards the Terror Dome. The Terror Dome shows a drawing of of Grimes running, and then they show clips of the horror show, the match from a couple weeks ago, and it's always Grimes running and running and running. So then Loomis pulls out a bag, and inside the bag is a leather strap, like an Indian strap, Rich, and he throws the one end at Yes. As I was watching it, and I saw him pull out that strap.
This is not getting Cameron Grimes more over Triple H.
Right. And keep in mind, we already saw a fucking strap match in July with him and Roddy, with Loomis and Roddy. Why would I want one with Grimes and Loomis? So,
yeah, and that shit sucked.
Yeah. So, for me, as he pulls out the strap, I don't know if you have you ever watched Power?
Couple episodes.
Okay. There's a memed up like spot in the show where Ghost is in the backseat of a car or in a car, and he's talking to a woman, and he's so frustrated that he yells out, "No! Fuck!" And that's exactly what my expression was when he pulled out the fucking Indian strap and he threw it at Grimes. I was like,
the apple pie.
I was like, God damn it! I don't know who the fuck wants to see this. So Loomis throws the strap back towards. I'm sorry, Grimes throws the strap back towards Loomis and walks away. Go to commercial break. Come back from commercial break. Grimes talking shit backstage, and he runs into Regal. And Regal says, "You know what? Loomis gave me a good idea. How about y'all have a strap match? ... at TakeOver."
Fun times. Damn. So I gotta watch Dexter Loomis
on fucking
with the strap.
TakeOver. So he's on the strap, you stupid. So Grimes goes,
well,
dude. Grimes goes, "Hey man," he goes, "Regal, why do you hate me?" He literally said, "Why are you fucking?" He basically like, "Why are you fucking with me? I didn't do anything to you. I was annoying a couple times, and now you're like,
look,
you're ruining my life. You're my
why are they fucking with us?
Yeah.
Why are they fucking with us?
Well, he's really, he's really speaking. He's really being us right now. Like Grimes is the babyface in this promo now, or in this program. So, and that was the end of it. Like I forgot what a real answer was to that, but he's more like, just man, suck it up and deal with the match. So we get Rhea in the ring. Rhea makes allusions to when she going up to the main roster. Talked about 2020 sucking. And she ultimately says, "I'm not going nowhere."
She would know.
Right. He said, "I'm not going nowhere. I am going to get the fucking women's title back." Out comes Candice. Candice says, "What you gonna do? Oh, you gonna get the title back? What you gonna do? Try harder?" Which made me laugh. And then so then out comes what did you say? Oh, I forgot what she said. Basically, she brings out Raquel. Raquel has Io over her shoulder. They have Candice, Raquel, Tony, and Dakota have whooped Io backstage. Unconscious, horseman style. We just didn't see it. They lay her on the apron, or they lay her out on the ramp. They come down to the ring, and Rhea can fend off Candice and Tony and Dakota, but anytime Raquel gets involved, she goes down. So they finally lay her out after 2 tries, go rounds with her fighting the other 3, and then, the big dog, Raquel Gonzalez lays her out. So they laid,
It's almost like this is set up.
Yeah. So they laid out the top 2, baby faces in the women's division out, which then basically sets you up for, all right, so Women's War Games, Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, Ember Moon, and Shotzi Blackheart versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Toni Storm, and Raquel Gonzalez. I gotta say, that's a lot better lineup than with Indy Hartwell in there. So, turning Toni Storm made the match better, but like Rhea or Io, one of them two should theoretically be time for them to come up, but they're not right now, which, look, I'm not in no hurry to get either one of them out of there because they all look at what they're doing with, the last batch of call-ups on the women's division on the main roster. So, yeah.
Nothing.
Right. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so then we get... In my notes, I wrote down Zaya and Boa kidnapped. Rich, have you heard about this?
What?
Rich.
No.
They have Boa and Zaya in the backseat of some SUV. It's dark. They're wearing black. You can look at their face. They have makeup on to make it look like they're like either dehydrated or malnourished. Like it looks like they've been human trafficked or being human trafficked. So all of a sudden, the truck pulls up. The homie, the Shang Tsung gentleman, Shei Fu is at the garage door. They bring them through the garage, and they cut to this dark room where they basically sit them down, and they're on their knees, Boa and Zaya with Shei Fu, and there is a woman sitting on what appears to be some type of throne or seat, and they're apologizing profusely, and they have been judged as it's time for them to sacrifice or their time is up or some shit, and Shei Fu puts a mark on both of their hands, and they both freak out, and then it goes to black. So I don't know who this woman is, but she's showing up. I have no clue. No idea. Nothing. But I'm just like...
Is this going to be how they introduce Meiko Satomura?
Okay, so the woman had long hair, so I don't think it's Meiko. And also, she's Japanese and they're Chinese. What?
Look, do you think they give a fuck?
Yes, I do. You want to know why?
Look, why?
The relationship between our Japanese brothers and sisters and our Chinese brothers and sisters quite similar to a lot of our Caribbean brothers and sisters, whereas like if you fuck around and mix them up, they will be quick to correct you. So I don't think you can necessarily just bring Meiko Satomura up and make her a Chinese all of a sudden. And better yet, a mystical Chinese. I don't think you can do that.
Bitch, when they pull the hood off and there's Meiko Satomura there, I'm gonna be hollering.
I'm going to be very, very frustrated. Very, very frustrated.
Because who else could it be?
I don't know.
Do they have any big signings coming in that are women?
I don't know. And here's another thing. Another reason why
returns.
Another reason why you might be onto something. You might be onto something is because like Pete Dunne, Tony Storm, later in the show, Grizzled Young Veterans show back up. They're bringing in the UKers. Meiko's a UKer. But my thing is, like, how long will she have to stay here to do this? Because, like, if she leaves Japan, she's going to have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And she's still running Sendai Girls. So I don't know how this is going to work as far as her coming into the States.
Trying to think who it could be. If you guys have any suggestions on who you think it is, or if it's Xia Li coming back as a more darker personality, like it can't be her. It
can't be her because she's one of the people that got trafficked. Unless they're saying like some.
I stole myself.
Oh my god, that'd be worse than Meiko Satomura. Jesus Christ. I don't know what they're doing. You have clearly gotten BS into my non-BS show.
Yes, this sounds like the BS that they be talking about.
The BS.
So
all the BS.
They got a mystical, mysterious figure in a cloak.
Yes.
What?
Yes. On some General Palpatine shit from Star Wars. Yes. Oh my God. Is that the second General Palpatine Star Wars reference in back-to-back shows? Whatever.
Bro,
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so dumb. So then we end up getting Everrise comes out, Rich. Like they about to have a match. What do you think happened?
So I'm going to assume that a match did not happen since you said like they about to have a match.
Yeah. So what do you think happened?
Somebody had to whoop that ass.
Grizzled Young Vets came out, stomped the dog shit out of them, and then said, "We are back." And you know how Zach Gibson gets down. We are the Grizzled Young Vets, and we will not stop until we are NXT's #1. you know.
So like, are they gonna roll with McAfee Goon too? They can just keep loading them up with our brothers from the UK.
I don't think so because they already got themselves 2 UKers. And one of them is one half the tag team champion, so I don't know if they want to have 2 people coming for the same belts on the same thing. You know, it seemed like a bad chemistry project.
They got also Pete Dunne in there. Him and Zach Gibson don't really mix well.
Right. No, look, nobody mixes well with Zach Gibson. He's an asshole. So then we get the main event: Kyle O'Reilly versus Pete Dunne. Ladder match to see who gets the advantage in War Games. This match is fucking awesome. There's so much stuff that I can't go over it. The most things I can remember is that Kyle O'Reilly is working Pete Dunne's leg. And
so did the heel win?
Of course. And then Dunne, what? No, the babyface one. Why would you do that? Do it the right way. Pete Dunne works over Kyle O'Reilly's hand, doing a bunch of spots. They do a spot where Dunne puts O'Reilly's hand underneath the leg of one of the ladder legs and climbs. There is a apron suplex, vertical suplex onto a ladder bridge that breaks. There's a spot where Dunne sends O'Reilly tumbling off the top of the ladder, like down, like hanging or falling off or catching himself on the bottom rope out to the floor, on the way down to the floor. There is a spot where O'Reilly catches Dunne up the steps, and he stops him by grabbing the bad leg and screwing the bad leg through the steps, through the inside of the steps. This match was awesome. It was them beating the crap out of each other and then doing all these like slick spots that I never really would have thought of. It was like they were having the match they would have had, except there's a ladder and it just happens to be a ladder match. It was awesome. I would give it 4.5 stars. I think Meltzer gave it 4.25. Like its cage match rating is like 4.6 something or 4.8 something. I can't remember. It is a great match. It's got to be at least the second best match on NXT television this year. The only thing I think would be in discussion would be the Dunne in Riddle versus Mandrews and Morgan Webster match from the Dusty Cup. Like, though, it's just a great match. Ultimately, O'Reilly has the match won until McAfee in a mask shows up, pushes O'Reilly off the top to the floor, all the way down to the floor, and then Dunne climbs and wins. The other people undisputed and working in Birch on perches, like on the other side of the PC. So that's the reason why they couldn't make the save in time after there was interference.
So we have another ladder match next week.
Sorry?
We have another ladder match for the women's side next week.
I don't think that's announced. Nah.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw that somewhere, but
it may be, but I don't. I mean, because NXT, they only want to announce like one or two things, a week in advance. It's like, just get the fucking card out. It's not. You're not. You aren't trading Russians. You're not hiding. Nuclear secrets. So
gotta see what AEW does first.
I guess figure it out. Like maybe you should just do your fucking show. But yeah. Wrestling was very good. Great match, main event. Couple goofy things, but overall, like, good promos, made sense. So, this is a very consistent Wednesday. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. The Stardom stuff I have is very, very small. They had 2 shows last weekend. They've been tagging Momo and Utami together because they're going to wrestle each other for the red belt on the Osaka show on the 20th of December. So that's how they're starting out this program, is they're tagging them together. And, you know, they were tag champs last year, so that's pretty much how they started. That's really all I got.
Cool, man. Well, once again, man, happy birthday. Congratulations on retaining your status amongst the living again.
Thanks.
I guess we'll put this birthday, we'll bank this away and celebrate it later on, you know, when this shit get back to the normal.
When 2028, bitch.
Yeah, you know, we gonna have to do, you know, we gonna have to line birthdays up, you know.
Shit, you need to be more concerned about. Nah, here's a better bet, right? Will we be able to celebrate my birthday or your birthday in 2021? You tell me what's more likely. I think we're more likely to celebrate just my birthday and both of our birthdays. And your birthday is in April.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, WrestleMania?
Oh, God. Can you imagine?
Because you know they're going to bring that shit back here and they're going to open the stadium. It did say, "Hey, bring y'all ass." You know what's happening.
We'll see how that goes. Because, like, look, if they, you know, people vaccines come in, we need to figure out when these vaccines come in. Because, like, if let's say the vaccine drops in February,
talk about it like an album.
Right. If the vaccine hits Spotify in February, I think I need a couple months before I take it. I need to see y'all get them bugs out. Like, go ahead and, you know.
Yeah, you know.
Y'all get them first batches out to the public. I'll gladly continue doing what I'm doing as far as social distancing. I just let me know when you get that second or third batch, and then I'll take it. And then we'll see how that lines up with, like, my ability to actually attend a WrestleMania weekend here. Because look, I can tell you this right now. If I ain't got a vaccine, there's not a look. WrestleMania may as well could be up the street from me beyond just 20 minutes. It could be literally a half mile away. I wouldn't fucking go. I'm good.
Yeah.
Not around. Nah, not you have to send me to COVID. Not put me in COVID hell. Nope.
Speaking of WrestleMania weekend stuff and indie companies, I had a nice little discussion with Joey Janela on Twitter about GCW, and apparently this is a foreign concept, you know, basically GCW keeps naming their stuff. They have a show announced called Slime Season, James.
I wonder where they got that name from.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, y'all need to either cut a check or pay respects or get a cosign, something, because this shit look funny in the light. And, you know, Joey Janela said, with what money? You know, this is a pandemic. And I'm like, y'all been doing this shit way before a pandemic was around. Stop the cap, essentially. There was another person that jumped in and said, you know, as a rapper, I'm sure you've sampled music before. And you should have to. Yeah, I was like, bro, you have to willingly. I don't know how you willingly work your way into missing the point that bad, so I'm just going to point you to go the other way. I'm not even going to engage with you.
I would have been like, hey, bro, you know, like, when a sample gets cleared, that means that you have to give percentages of the song and royalties to the person whose song you sampled to make that record. So, like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm asking for, you dumbass. That's kind of my point. Jesus Christ.
And apparently this is like a thing, you know.
Motherfuckers really around here thinking you can sample Thriller and just not have to pay a dime for it. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. Like you say, yeah, you know, PWG, they've lifted song titles, movie titles, and stuff like that. But when it comes to GCW and the rap stuff, for me, why it's such a issue is it's like, y'all obviously got some type of connections. So you can make a phone call to get some type of cosign to, you know, if you're using all this rap stuff, maybe like, are you trying to make a play for an audience you don't have? I'll tell you what will go a long way in trying to get that audience would be some type of cosign like that. Have, like, you know, Young Thug retweet something for you. You know, try, like, y'all, like, the world isn't that big. Like, you can get to somebody to kind of get, you know, a clearance to say this or pay homage the correct way, not just running with it. It just look weak to me. So I called it out, got a response from them. And, you know, I don't feel like they have any concept of what I'm talking about at all.
Yeah, they're playing dumb. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that back. It's not fine. It is what it is. That's really where I'm getting at. This is whatever. Like, the names don't bother me as much as you do, but, like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that you're wrong. It's just like, whatever. I'm numb to this kind of,
I'm like, you know,
stealing, I guess it's a word.
Yeah, let's get some, you know, some wrestlers to match, like, you know, the aesthetic that you're trying to wrap yourselves in. But when I look at these crowds and it don't quite match up, you know, it just comes up short for me. So I know GCW is behind for the culture show. I understand that, but what we putting a limit on for? So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. So I could be wrong. You know, let me know right in. Y'all can check on Twitter and see where I had that convo. But you know, it is what it is, like James said.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this with. Be sure to tell folks about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Be sure to go to ProWrestlingTees.com and ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex and pick up some official Social Suplex Podcast Network merchandise. Also, check out the other shows on the network. On Sundays, we have this show, One Nation Radio. On Tuesdays, we have Keepin It Strong Style. On Wednesdays, we have the Ricky Clive Wrestling Podcast. On every other Wednesday, we have Grumman Watch Your Shit. On Thursdays, we have the Grave Consequences Podcast. On Friday, we have 8-Bit Suplex. And on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Make sure y'all stream that new album that came out, GPS. Did 10 beats on there, 11 beats. I got my song Nervous on there, so y'all should go ahead and check that out. I put that on YouTube, too.
Yeah, so check it out. I'll put the link to the to that in the description as well, so you can just click over really quick. But thanks for listening, y'all.
Peace.